Yes, sir. That's a copy.
You are the director of the scene. So I'm waiting for the boss. Bubbling. No, it's okay. It's okay. Shall we? Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. I want to start off by thanking all of you and appreciating your efforts in coming here to cover this press conference, even though the notice came in quite prompt. I appreciate this service you are doing towards our common good. Before I delve into the contents of my official press statement, which I will make available to all of you in electronic copy format, I want to play a short little song done by the women of Woolly that is relevant to this occasion. I'm sure your recorders will be able to pick it up. Mbemba, Buwanja na yala telephone okay on airplane mode, please. You know, he's the boss. He said we should put all these phones on airplane mode. So I'm just conveying the command of the commander for today. Well, that's a song, impromptu, unrehearsed, done by the women of Woolly Tuba during one of my recent political expeditions up country in URR. It's just asking me to speak about the issues that concern the poor and vulnerable masses of this country. I call this press conference specifically to highlight certain critical national issues that I believe deserve more attention than they receive in these critical moments of our national transition in this so-called New Gambia. I can understand that the news cycle is very fast, and this information age often afflicts us with information overload, thereby making it difficult to focus on certain issues beyond a short time span. Therefore, I deem it fitting to bring back to the fore issues that I think deserve repeated reporting and analysis in a bid to keep the government on its toes regarding their responsibility to keep us safe and informed. The alleged transfer of $35 million into the accounts of the First Lady's Foundation is a case in point. It's still wrapped up in shadows. We don't still know the facts of this, and the government has not launched any credible investigation to clarify this matter. A government that just recently concluded a commission of inquiry that looked into the past financial malpractices of the former government. If the transfer into the First Lady's accounts was just a one-off activity without any subsequent connected developments, one could be excused for letting this go down. However, NAWEC recently awarded a multi-million-dollar contract to a company that was accused of transferring these funds into the First Lady's Foundation's accounts. I believe that this is a matter worthy of further investigation and pressing the government on for clarification. Our marine resources, our fisheries resources, continue to be mismanaged and damaged with serious allegations of bribery coming from the Ministry of Fisheries. When an audio file emerged allegedly implicating the permanent secretary and the minister of that relevant ministry, the attempt for corrective action was solely directed at the permanent secretary, and the minister of that relevant ministry has not been approached for any serious investigation, has not been sent on leave like the permanent secretary was. This same ministry was burnt down to ashes, and yet our country seems comfortable without a credible answer to the questions surrounding this scary, very scary incident. Allocation of prime land in this country seems to be done under the shadows with no clear information coming out as to who is benefiting from what. I believe, as citizens and journalists, it's about time we ask the Minister of Lands to give us a list of persons and institutions that have benefited from the allocation of government land, especially prime land around the Bartel-Harding Highway. Our president recently announced a planned trip to Dubai. He later canceled the trip after I published an audio message calling it a dangerous mission orchestrated by a few businessmen at great cost to the state without any potential commensurate benefit. I want the powers that be that embarking on that trip would cause us humiliation as a nation because the host country was not receiving our president nor providing any security and protocol arrangements befitting a visiting head of state. There is a reported planned hijacking of our national energy infrastructure involving the president, a few Gambian businessmen, and a Senegalese mogul that has been feeding on the blood and sweat of innocent Gambians. There are reports that the president intends to cancel this deal, but this matter is still worthy of the attention of your pens and cameras. Energy security is national security. Current exploration activities at our nation's petroleum fields also deserve more attention than they get. We cannot be sitting down reacting to situations only after the damage has already been done. Mining and export of black sand from Combo South has also failed to garner the attention it deserves. When a journalist asked the president about this deal in an interview, our head of state and our borough said that he could not remember the name of the company involved in this multi-million-dollar business deal. There are allegations that the president's close associates and some of his family members are involved in the mining and export of black sand. And when this government took over, there was a heap of black sand around Kartong, Batokunku area. It just vanished into thin air. Doesn't this country have citizen journalists, activists? Don't we care about our natural resources that were put on this land before this criminal government and its members were even born. These resources are bestowed on us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we don't own them. We should take our fair share, manage them responsibly, sustainably, and bequeath them to generations that will come after us. We all know that the Gambia is in a volatile, critical stage. National security is at its lowest ebb, with young people dying day and night without any proper investigation. When the president recently made a speech regarding the incidents that happened in Sanyang, he could not bother about the security and life of the young man who died. He was just heaping blame on the young people. We have a country where containers of drugs like cocaine are coming into. We have a country that has dangerous drugs coming into this country, guns coming into this country unaccounted for, and then you have a financial institution that's being controlled by government with shady deals being reported around that financial institution. I think as journalists and citizens, we all need to be concerned, keep issues on the front pages so that we can hold our officials accountable. And now to the crux of the matter regarding this impromptu press conference. There is a message making the rounds on social media to the effect that President Barrow and his close associates want to ambush me and cause me harm. This is not the first time my name has come up as a potential victim in such alleged plans, but I have never reacted to those previous alarms, even when I was contacted by journalists. In the particular case where I was mentioned, Nyang Jai, Madi Jobate and others, I did not respond to it. But this time, I deem it necessary to bring it to the attention of our national security institutions and the international community, as well as religious leaders in this country, that I believe information I'm getting is quite credible, that President Barrow and his henchmen have marked me as a target for attacks because I'm a thorn in their flesh. I'm crisscrossing this country, left, right, and center, canvassing support for people to vote against President Barrow across political lines because of his incompetence and the corruption that has characterized his government. I will read the message that was shared on social media as is. I am not going to say that this message is true, but neither will I dismiss it totally as alleged due to critical antecedents. The message reads as shared on social media. Breaking news, Manding Mori. I got the information from my insider within NIA and State House that Adama Barrow and Usman Sow are planning to ambush Momodou Sabally. Abubakar Jawara, a criminal businessman, offers $1 million to each of the rebels selected to ambush Mr. Sabally in their secret meeting held at Abubakar Jawara's compound, unquote. I am quoting the message as shared. I am not saying if it is true or not, but after several messages like this listing me as a target, I believe it's quite right for me to bring this to the attention of the government, our security institutions, some of which are friends to some of the businessmen that are being allegedly connected to these planned attacks. I am raising this as a concerned citizen, bringing it to the attention of President Adama Barrow and his government and the religious leaders of this country. I am not interested in any smear campaign against any individual or official mentioned in any of these many messages that have been going around. What I'm interested in is holding the government accountable, and the message here and the press conference is direct to President Adama Barrow and the religious leaders for obvious reasons, because nobody will ever be able to imagine what Momodou Sabally's reaction is going to be. I can assure the whole country that. So I'm directing my message of warning to President Adama Barrow, alerting the international community and the religious leaders of this country. I repeat, I am not interested in any smear campaign against any private individual or government official, and it is not my intention to bring this to the fore for people to go and attack these people, their families, and get into their private lives. That is not my problem. I've seen a message that's quite alarming, and I am not going to be the one to sit down and wait for my dead body to be presented before a court of law as evidence to verify that these threats are true. I'm not a fool. Now, some of you may be privy to some audio messages recently released in the National People's Party's WhatsApp forums threatening me. The first message released stated that I should not visit any Sarahule village in the URR, Upper River region, especially Gambisara, otherwise I would be attacked and physically assaulted. I did not react to this message because the person behind it could not be identified, and I got some messages of reassurance from Gambisara telling me completely important people dissociating themselves from the threat. If it stopped at that, I would not react. But a subsequent message purportedly released by Bubu Drame, who is supposed to be the NPP's regional chair for URR, that message also reconfirmed the first threat. And the author of the message said that if I, Momodou Sabally, visit Gambisara or any other Sarahule villages in the URR, the youths of that town should assault me because I have been critical and disrespectful of President Barrow and Abubakar Jawara. He actually declared that URR is a no-go area for me, Momodou Sabally. Not once did any top official of the NPP come out to adequately condemn these threats of violence coming from their supporters. Nor did the leader of the NPP, President Barrow, address his supporters to stop such dangerous comments. In fact, the president himself must have been the instigator of these threats because he's the first person to stand in this country at this critical juncture in our transition when the TRRC is still trying to unfold the abuses of the past. Barrow said he'd rather die than face humiliation in the election. The body goes where the head leaves it. If President Barrow is bringing dangerous statements like that, what do you expect his supporters to do? One of his official, let me make this clear. If some rank and file within the NPP makes such threats, uncovered at the TRRC, I think the Gambia Police Force can and should do better. In conclusion, I am ready to defend myself in any situation, and I want to make that clear, and nobody will prevent me from visiting any region, town, village, or hamlet in this country. And any person who is foolish enough to be induced to attack me, that person should know that he or she is doing that at their own peril. I stand defiant against any purported attempts to silence me. I continue to live by my mantras, can't cage me, and kana song. I want to thank you for your kind attention. I appreciate the efforts you made within less than 10 hours for this number of media personalities and institutions to come here. I am most grateful, and I want to encourage you to continue the great and noble service you, the gentlemen and ladies of the press, are doing for our common good, for the Gambia, our homeland. Thank you. So I'll take a few questions. I would prefer that the questions be limited to the subject matter. I know some of you want me for interviews. We can arrange interviews later during the week, but this is a private business setting, and we can't spend much time here. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sabally, for inviting us to this important press conference. But it is also a concern to me.
Can you introduce yourself for the audience?
Bakari Kamara from Kamara Official. It's a concern to me as a citizen, believing that you are one of that citizens that we need in this country, and your family as well. Why are you saying I am still defiant? Henceforward, there is threats that can take your life. Why are you still continuing for that?
Well, I am defiant because I know I'm on a noble mission, both for my country and for the truth that's defended and supported by the Creator, who himself is the ultimate truth. And I know I am not going around to insult or personally attack anybody, but I will not relent in raising the awareness of Gambians who are being hoodwinked by this government that's populated with bandits, criminals, that's looting our national resources and sitting down and allowing this country to become a narco state with drugs and guns coming in and out, making the Gambia a threat to global security. I want this government out, but I want it out by legal democratic means, and that's what I'm doing. And so long as I'm not breaking the laws of the land and the laws of God, I will not be deterred or scared by anybody. I'm pushing on. Well, I think that's captured in the message. I said the first message came from Gambisara. The person was not identified in the audio, even though I later had information that the person is not actually from that village. It's trying to create animosity between me and the people of Gambisara. I think they thought that if they said that somebody from Gambisara said Sabally will not go to Gambisara, they expect me to react impulsively and maybe attack the people of Gambisara. I didn't fall for it, because our culture reserves certain privileges and immunities between Badibunkas and Sarahules, so I refrain from attacking Gambisara or responding or saying anything bad about the people of Gambisara. I refrain. Once that did not work, a second audio came, and it's generally believed, I've spoken to several people who believe it's Bubu Drame, the regional chairman for NPP at URR, and he didn't say his name in the audio, But he said he's making the audio from the NPP regional office. Now, I thought that was serious. So once that happened, I started making further investigations, and I know that there are some people who actually go into a particular town in Gambisara and telling them that I should not come there. So I said, I will go there. And I will go there. I'm not going there to say I'm going to react to that audio or I'm going to create trouble. But if I feel the need to go to Gambisara or Alunghare or Njabakunda or Sare Boyo, I will go there. I'm not going to instigate any violence. I want to make that very clear. I am not interested in violence. I am interested in a peaceful, democratic change of government. And I will do anything to ensure that. It looks like Barrow and his cronies are scared. They are in panic mode, especially when recently I convinced two brilliant, dynamic, highly influential young people to defect from their pro-Barrow Gambia for 5 years movement to come to UDP. That has really scared them. I think the Barrow administration is scared that I have a lot of vital information, and any single accusation I label against them turns out to be true. So they're very impatient. They're trying to provoke me. I can assure the general public that I will not be provoked, and I will not be the one to instigate any violence, and I will not go to any town or village to provoke the residents. But I will not be scared, and if I am attacked, I am more than ready to respond, measure for measure, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. And if I'm attacked anywhere, there will be collateral damage. I want to say that for the record.
You are calling for the police to investigate and you said tomorrow you are going to complain at the police headquarters.
Yes.
So what about if you can police to take any action?
Well, yeah, I think that's a good question, by the way, because some of the names mentioned in these alleged threats are very close to the police. But that's why I am putting out a press conference to make the Gambian community, especially religious and the whole world, witnesses to these issues. Your question is very relevant, but I will cross that bridge when I get there. For now, I just want to put this information out. I'm not a violent man. I've never been. I will not instigate violence. I will not provoke any individual or communities. But if anybody is foolish enough to cross my line, to provoke me, to attack me, I am saying again, there will be collateral damage. Yes.
Thank you very much. My name is Dara from TV News. During your speech, you have made mention about securities and religious leaders. So what role do you want the religious leaders to play in this part?
Well, the religious leaders in particular, because I have a very good relationship with them, and by the grace of Allah, I know a lot of them listen to me and they respect me. And usually they are the first to step in if there is confrontation or potential misunderstanding. So that's why I'm putting them on alert. I think they should talk to President Barrow. I think Imam Momodou Lamin Toure, Imam Sheikh Issa Dabo should go to President Barrow and talk to him about this clear attempts to threaten me, because I am Momodou Sabally. I am not going to take one step back if anybody comes to attack me. Yes.
My name is from DHK. I meant to ask, are these threats by those people affecting your daily life or perhaps to your close associates?
Well, so far it has not affected my daily life, even though some people who are close to me are very concerned. They want me to have personal security now, which even in the heights of my own personal problems and confrontations with the Jammeh administration going in and out of prison, my family has never recommended for me to take personal security for my safety. I was going to court with Jammeh, going in and out of jail. I was walking around freely day and night. And for this government that is accusing the former administration of abuse of human rights, threats, for this government, that institution, a Truth, Reconciliation, Reparation Commission, to try to further make the former administration look bad and to prove to the whole world that human rights abuses, threats are bad and we should make a change. For that government to be the one to threaten me, this is really a catastrophe of monumental proportions. And that's all the more why President Adama Barrow and his gang of squirrels, like I call them, squirrels that hijacked and overtook the amount of peanuts cultivated and harvested by the poor farmers, for these squirrels who hijacked our national groundnut harvest, they should be operated, excised, and thrown away like a tomorrow's cancer. Thank you.
Do you have any idea of why are they putting those threats on you?
It's quite obvious that if you follow the political scene, I'm crisscrossing this country like a jet fighter from one region to the other. And I'm going into their strongholds and converting people from NPP to my party, the government in waiting. I think the last straw, I've been doing this for months. Every weekend I come, but the last straw was when I went to Wuli Barokunda, where Barrow claims it's his ancestral home, and took at least one prominent young man, an official of NPP, brought him to UDP, and he brought other people. And then another guy, Kalilu Toure, who is a very critical member of Barrow's political machinery, a key advisor to hundreds of women's groups called Barrow Sisters. That guy also came to UDP, and they were scared. So now, my investigation, what they reveal is that President Barrow and the people he gave money to, like Bubo Drame, told him that URR is completely sealed for NPP. When I went to Wuli the first trip and brought these prominent, influential young people to switch side from NPP to UDP, they told him it's a lie. But when Kalilu Toure came out, it was like a general in their political army. Those people like Bubu Drame who've been using Barrow's money and fooling him, they felt scared. So now, according to the intelligence I'm gathering, the plan is to scare me from going into the Sarahule villages. Because some of these people are playing tribal politics, unfortunately. We know that not all Sarahules are NPP. Sarahules are in all parties. But there are a few greedy, dubious individuals who made President Barrow believe that all Sarahules are NPP. The Sarahule people, they love, respect, and honor me, just like I love, respect, and honor them, and nothing will change that. Nothing will change that. So they fear that. I've not gone into the Sarahule community. I go to Wuli Birif, Wuli Tuba, Wuli Barokunda, but I have not gone to the Sarahule community, and I'm going there. So the fear is if I go there, some of these Sarahule, especially the young people, will switch allegiance to UDP, and that will make them look bad because they took millions from President Barrow and made him believe URR is NPP and the truth is coming out. So they're in panic mode. The other issue is the two young men from Barrow for 5 years. And you know, this Barrow for 5 years thing, there's a lot of things that happen. If you guys followed their statement when they formally came to meet the party leader, they even accused some of Barrow's top men of embezzling monies to the tune of $6 million that were meant to benefit the actual foot soldiers of this Operation Gambia for 5 years. So that allegation also rattled State House to the extent that the following day Barrow called for a meeting at State House. And Barrow himself is calling at least one of these young men, expressing his shock and consternation, telling him, I thought you were intelligent, how can you allow Sabally to play with your mind? So these young people, I think they have information that I'm not privy to. They're afraid that these people will give me this information and I will share it. And to be honest, I don't use young people for such things. I don't want to put any young person in danger. I have my sources for information. They are credible. Once I confirm them, I bring them in the open. These young people have not given me any information, even though they're free to speak for themselves. And they are speaking. And Barrow is uncomfortable. So it's a succession of events that had created panic at State House, but they cannot silence me. Yes.
One more question. We understand that a ruling government has passed. So in case you are asked to provide evidence on how the energy sector, the lands allocated for the government are being mismanaged, do you have it?
Well, it's not for me to provide any proof. Barrow knows that what I'm saying is the truth. Let him come and deny what I said. For lands, I'm not even accusing Musa Drame of anything. Musa Drame, give us a list of state land allocated to businesses and individuals for the past 4 years. Musa Drame will never provide this. Unfortunately, you guys will never make the follow-ups and it will die down. If Musa Drame provides this, Gambians will move to State House and uproot President Barrow. But they will not do it. So let them challenge me, let them take me to court. I'm ready anytime. They once used somebody to threaten me and I'm still ready to go to court. Anytime.
One question about, I'm going to give some Stevie. One question about what the sister just asked about the proof. Okay, in this case, they will say that you are just a verbal word, while you are just saying whatever you want. But are you having the proof that we are going to show that this is the problem about now that they are accusing you of accusing now and about the 3 million? Are you having the proof?
The proof is in your own websites, in your own archives. 35 million was transferred to the First Lady's Foundation's account. At least one official of the foundation came and said it's true, but it's a mistake. Right or wrong? I mean, even Bill Gates will not make a mistake of transferring 35 million. Now, I recently awarded a contract to a company. Right or wrong? Is that company not connected to the First Lady's? I mean, these things are out in the open. In fact, you guys are my source. If they ask me for proof, I'll come to your websites and your YouTube channels. It's out in the open. I'm ready anytime. Let them come.
Sabally, I'm 10 years ago. I come to drop for me along with Yakuela statement. I'm offended me along with Mansakunda or drop law enforcement agency for investigation of Kakan Afoni and Sabi Abapan. Why are you guys so keen that I'll let them drop on you this proof? Then you want me along with the investigation of the band. Perhaps if I can talk about the investigation of the Asatian or the this process.
Because drop ko amanke sain kuti ametale imam fenkeje. Drop container. Eko imalong meya samanang adunta dameng. Bari na funding ke wol men be manja ko lori tavan. Tai joint killing eka wol muta eke sorong. UDP la moto. Eko taile bije ngamra men famam bulu fasi. Bari ka kundingol je ku mesangol ku bay bukaje tapale ale bije adama jaral to nya ko masakundai. Tapale wollem baruna la mul tapale wollem. Thank you.
Well, I will also try to
also from Kiang.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. You are not proud of it, I know it.
So, just the first question will be a follow-up question to Biden. What I need to go, you have to go like bring threshold now. So, threshold men, what I need to go for more many years ago, if they sound they can find threshold, you don't need to what a financial plan work on.
No, ko kungo be mwalti kat Adama Barrow albe alon ko amitante normale pour nga face politique wala silola. Nde dum kole ko baronte ma kon. Nga Barrow lonne ala muso Fatou Ba Sadio Mbalo nge lonne ni kadi amu telephone wotole. Abari ndigol Njaga Sane, Amadou Sane ikana noma nikafuta ya nkafutema. Konnante yake ni tema. Recently nkoto ma bakilin fakilin kabri nga banta. Barrow la first lady, second lady, ibele nata sama kontongola, nkoto, mbakili mfakili nkoto, abe NPP le, mbakili imofula, ramu Sabally binta Sabally. Adung amanni la badi yaktinya. Ndebuka politiko fitino dundi ni motema. Adama Barrow, lunga mengala muso nata iya sama kontongola, kala afta salila, ntele fita ronga nga luo fita, nga baso fene ay. Fonna sisa sol kambulo, because hada mayale ben na tema. So this is nothing personal. Wadana kabin benyin kumofola, yemenu tumi. Ko wolle lafta pour kana nyapinte kanka ku kenna nko nte ma foko fa ko mo to nyaati fa manke to nyaati adum make pour ka mo tokiya adum mam mo bula katani mol tokiya ko mol kam menke ka duila family la kolto ila private life mam mo bulala ko ko ngom menti wolen Adama Barrow ye menu to foje wol be matel la moti na banko la security ba tele bulu abe siring mol be banku dingol tretin la koy be falale koy be attaque la le amam kuma fo nko sa nga kumol lankene maya Gambia nkoli ya moy banko dine alfal ya moy bantala banko ya moy because nte Modou Sabally mo tente tretin la ka foko kana taja ngasi manta mbitale adu ni momo yemma ibe njelale ko tilo bari menke da Barrow ni ole torata yente ko mandi ko ngata man kamankunda iko be moto dilana ani 1 million nko yem fata moto la mfata ko dola moto be mbulle 1 million amanna haji jara ni adina within 1 month be bannale adu ni 10 million le dinna fana wolen ko do ka banne bari dinkende ya anim foroya anim banku di yawo buka bang nkoy mfati la patiola hani bi wallahi ben noma hani bi ni mbota jey ben commandi la ko tanki afanyi ko Sabally na NPP. Enough is enough. Don't want to be a part of your party. Take your positions and your money. I'm not interested in that. I've held a position that nobody has ever held in the history of this country. Secretary General, Minister of Presidential Affairs, Minister of the Civil Service, Secretary General of the ruling party. Nobody has ever held that position in this country. So I'm not interested in position. Ko nkamul men soundi ke bo NPP kana UDP. Wolem to nyati. Ntata wulile bubu drama nyoli baro nene ka fay ko wulli bebe in fay kal ko URR wol bebe NPP le ntata wulli baro kunda baro ka bonso be damen ngela fondinke nyama yala malta nge dundu UDP e ko baro e ko faniyalem ntata Kalilu Touré kamana me alon ko muy la jata balati politique oto ngawo samanan nayen natal anim parti lay na e ko photoshop lem nga Kalilu Touré murundi nani Ousainou Dabo e video ke kabriyo je nak e kijo ye fara saying yalon ko Adama Barrow yalon ko nyimuto nyalti Modou Sabally ka mol bondi NPP le URR ak Samba UDP so isilata menna wolem pour ngata sarakule satol sarakulol buñani horomole ben ni tema kanunte wollem politique kuman dunni sarakulol tema nyin juma tambila mem botaten juma do membe o koma nim fondin kewol le tata sarakulol la jama to badu kulan tata saliye ni wol manta political particularly but wallahi kanunte wollem I love them and they love me so sarakulol yente kanule so bubu drame nyol men ye baro ne yalla million tabulu ikay ko URR be muy taleti ina taje baro ba jala molbe bola NPP URR kata yudi wolle ki joye fara ye nyin kuma kan fay ko kantere silandi ko nin tata sarakula sa ko sa tolto e be nyapilan kanne e be lipalale ba on te ka baro nin Boubacar Jawara doya nke criticize so e yo fole pour nte kanata sarakuli saro kan ndara sarakuli saro nan kanunte wol namol ni nge commandi hani 60% man danku asake no 30% ben danku la ena UDP ilafta wala kana ke adumita sarakulu la saro mbita jelde diabu ba tapa alien commandi mbinale alon hare alien commandi mbinale gambi sara na kibaro soto je ko sodo bi je nyanta men fala la karambungo English karambungo mole ko nga may ko ro ko nga sirangol samba je na diata ala mba samba la jele al munna mole ati thank you
no na personal still
ben bondi NPP ke samba UDP nana ma mira ko be dewum ko soto wala jagat yalon kam men fo ninte be dia nte buka fani ya fo na politiko kono nka to nyaale fo hani ko mo fo ni mallala so to be honest membe sono yala sa mba fala ko they are all insecure wala be sono yala bari mawto nya soto nana ma mira la fanam fo kabiri nyin fondinke fulol Omar Sanya Gambia for 5 years and Abdou Wilane kabiri wol natalen dron ngaje kuma kangol ka finti dolbe wol fa call kan e ka kuma kangol mem foye danaka pour que silandi leng pour yebo UDP ye murnang NPP adun kuma kangol ka bonan dame je jam fatal de kuma kangol dolbi je ka bonan state house le barola advisor sol Al Fata Omar Sanyan na aning Abdou Wilane barola ministal Alkana Transport Union ta allié tretin pour ye Abdou Wilane forcé ay bo UDP ay nuru NPP du kale Alkana okay ñi mu game wolati football ko do fam fair play bi je la ngatani lu walla momo be Modou Sabally bala ibe ngani Sénégal wote silala alal fanda handi adum mome ya lonko barola close associates leng ay business o samana jango business o be airport oto business o me ya lonko ye molle duku barola man sakunda pour ye namo tale namo man na tala ye business o continue wole ñin $20 tax la mul kan mobe o business environment kono baro e me use pour ay ñin dindingol ta ay silandi wara ye duku pour ye murnang NPP mbe ya marla ni me fonyo kanyum fondinkewol kol special press conference mbe wole kele business wala ko wala dukol men keta anyin namu jawo me yalon ka be na diaspora nol tora la be tourisol tora la be mol tora kan jang tourist industry tourisol ye ko la di Gambia la ku jama bi je corona bi je bar ñing tax me yalon ko ya laaje me yalon ko duko wala tin ñin tax lata because the businessman o ñi ya promise mena kombe namo talale namo doku la bundal man na song wala ñin $20 to and fro la airport kam baro fatanna funding kewol se hum balo fotana funding kewol this is my last warning
finally iya mera mune sekeno sen men sekeno turkaje ko nim banko ba currently ne banko jibe crime rate be sia kam nim allegation ol fana na raka because ita ta mo da barnga ka dol fana moy audio le ka ko be ku kala mo le be fon ka ite amuna mune sekeno men ta kendi ko banko kam nim situation si banga bokon because be crucial moment at the moment in the country ya mera mune nyanta banko la sen
wala fadera natra ikam fulu na kuma kangol to anin na saferol to nka saferol ko opun leta ngamen safe adama baro e ngama siata tannim fulati kaya mari bunya kono anin horomo men nyanta kala men nyana kala Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs opun leta ngamen safaye bunya kono an horomo won nendirti ye kaja firti ye asiata sabati ko economy iba tamaka nyamen amambeteya elanin kalabanti ya kul ka salary lafa ni salary lafa ntol ngamel long economics londo to akana me wulu niya danna siya lafa aka me wulu wala na inflation so ika mel lafa moliye ila joto abukani nafa wo be keta fo wulu ngamo chairman Banjul Muslim Elders me occasional chair aya fo barona la finance minister ay na ko mole repeat so ntenga ñun ya marle fom batata i mandanku i mayya maro moy ita moy la kitabo ka fam summun bukmun umyun fahum la yarjiun ita moy la ngam fonyo ya maro la le wala na wulita mbe banko be tamala ka mol kumandi ye nante la patrioto UDP ye bambu Usain Dabo ko ma nganyim masakunda bondi hani menu man la fika na UDP ngoye ko ngake kankil ndi dal kana ka rew fay baro wala na di baro is the biggest problem in this country baro len ko be ngoti nimma bondi je nyin kerangol men babalate bondi la je so es kerangol mbemba fay so bondi je folo ni di la fa na tiya tu ngoy fré am ruti yati yol I guess that's going to be the last question, right? Hey, Mr. Director.
Yes.
When are we ending? I'm sweating now. Yeah, come on about aso democracy. Jaman ke baro ya timbe ko talala I balance. It's okay? Okay. Come on about malafi afo na friendly mo wala nek question jaman. Of course, sure. Sure, carry on.
Even press conference itaraji masakunda yakini ina da moto kuma yake da Abubakar Jawara ani Abubakar Jawara anane masala loke parendre ke ye sama kitola do kama sai na fu kote de ni fero tadi pour que te mon to wan ke fa atabdala ko da woto Abubakar ay mi do ko mel nan ay nan le ba fama dan
ok ntema foko Abubakar leake wara ntema foko fero tabita la korda kono kuma kango men fintita nga wole lankenema nko fana nta fola no fo kuma kango to nyalen fo to nyante bari nga sane yandi fana nyim manke signa foloti Ibrahima Jawara malon fo NPP e jole pour intera bari la moy nko nta fola no fo nyim kuma kango to nyalti fo to nyanti bari nyim manke signa foloti nyim kuma kam folo be sifa e fintila kuma kango fintita no yente toke je nyang jaay madi jobate ani ngama Pamadou Bojang ani Mo Jamal Pamadou Bojang Fongo has been a subject of threats Paul Bekela abekela nko nte Modou Sabal nte mo bari bunkol di mamboki ya manke toleti nte de sila fo yem fure wota ya samba kiti dula ka foko ha nyine dalilo ti sai nyine evidence ko nyinko muto nte to kela so ngap kuma kangole lankenema adunga sene yandi ko Abubakar Jawara to fotaje Ousmane Sow to fotaje nte ma foko dabe nyin ko nte ma fo kumo men feta ngawle adum mang interest soto pour Abubakar Jawara aning Ousmane Sow ke attack personal attack la wara ka dungi la private life kono wara pour que la family attack mang interest soto because ngal Gambia dol di nyin commence fal fora modul ka kufang ika danna tamboke mammo tumi kula bari kuma ko men finti nga wala lankenema Abubakar Jawara nak ate to fota nyin doto bara to fota fanan audio me yalon ko iko bubu drama ya fintindi ko ngatele jalay anim president o ngatele attaque anim president o woto inte tara sarakule sato sarakule fondin ko nyata nyapi dan kan yembude atole fota ma foka tele ko ya fo bari nyine fota ito fota a fota patenke mbe kumole langdi kan Gambia dingol nyala polisol nyala dina nyatonkol nyala international community nyala ko min kumol le fota a toña tente de sila fo yem fure olandi ka tandi mo la ko nyin kumol mu toña lati bar ni momo yemma momo wulitay kana Modou Saballe attaque ibe njelale ko tilo nga wala
You are accusing NPP of threatening your life or what?
Absolutely. Wakany mang hakili fula sort NPP will be a life threatening can definitely yes. Yes. Next question. Can you repeat it? Well, can you say it in English? Then I'll answer in Mandinka. I can speak Wolof too, yeah.
Say it in Wolof.
Ha konka fo nyameng nte na diamol to na politiko to na activism mbuka fania fo mbuka lafi fanan kam man sakunda tumi kula me alon ka man soto ye men fo nana man kede inana man na ikonye ko mbe nyin kuriyal men na ituje kana fo inana ma oke bari ika fo nyel ko ngana NPP muna na ila fa ngana NPP nimbe la bungono nte tumando ba ton te wanyar la so nga jiki ko ila fale pour ngana e ko yibe moto di lana anin kodo nko ye kom fata sai alone sabali kata nyamen mo tanyum bondi la no UDP so jiki la tetale so wala na ila fa ye fere dol leta ya lon tuba wol ka fa me carrot and stick ye sone ya ngota ye nene ro ka manke sai ko fitino ben tar la jan de bu ka bori shall we close? Yeah, okay, I wanna
final question, please.
Bajara, but you can lo nyinen director of the press conference. So you can lo, you can more BBC can nyinen karoge.
Final question. Love nyinen jala men bayri ko ikam mul boni na party no re na fina UDP where President Barrow na la mul ay sulal. Ko la party fana kamri ngin silandir ko for fam nyimman ka sinya ko ko pele do data woni do na tan mo do data mo do data fata.
Ila nyinin karo akumayata bake because ni agenda my press conference ke nka operate nyameng okay dolbi nka operate as a UDP foot soldier and commando but dolbi nka operate as a citizen nka message ul bome alon ko ni kay lamoy la odiro nka for this is a non-partisan statement normally me dia mo men kala na parti political la wala nka ke UDP forums and it will be marked I'm speaking at Sabally Forum or Abu Maron Forum or UDP Kankeling. But dolbi je nka finti nka diamu as a non-political guy adu ko lebe dun tanyor wala nanata as an individual barina patio threshold men kata ya kalamutale ni hakilo Obama His Excellency the party leader and Secretary General Raji Hussein Raba a press conference doke ako ay kibaro soto ko NPP kol barona la mansakunda kol yenyim ferole landi pour ka drogota ka ke ntela mototo Ibrahima Diba Talib Ahmed Bensouda ngamira ani Yakumba Jaite ko ye ferol sorole so party leader afintita ay mansakunda dandalare ko ye aussi fal bula so kabrini message do fintita kunu message ngam mo soto from inside and inside a mealonko barola criminalol bandiol menu kataranin ku maniwol kelae woni wolle ka nyomoy because I'm not interested in sensationalism. I have enough facts to damage this government. So I'm not going to make up anything or try to create a steam out of the teacup. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in calm, peace and stability in this country. And Usman Sow, DGSIS, knows the role I have played over the past 3 years to ensure peace and stability in this country out of my own initiative without any reward. Negotiating to cancel strikes and violent demonstrations. Usman Sow, you're speaking. If you're listening, you know this is the fact, and Adama Barrow knows it. I'm not a violent man. I'm not interested in violence. I'm interested in peaceful change of government. But Barrow has criminal circles operating under his wings that work together to provoke people and to create false perceptions regarding his opponents. So Kabrinji message fintira, yesterday's message, I showed it to somebody. Sabally, you should take this seriously. This is not a joke. And then I asked him, how about the drug issue, the plans to implant drugs on my cars or at my home? He said that's also true. They actually wanted to implement it during the Ramadan, but they had logistical constraints, so be on the alert. So kafoye mandika kamala. Nko nte manyin press conference kumandi ka kawiye yake urka banko ka mol ni torandi ka mol sima o manke na hajoti nko Ousmane Sow SASDG ay alone ko ntena te nka futale pour ka fitino da fa nyim banko kono sanji sabatam bilala nka finti ka diamu moli men lafta fitino kala pour ikana fitina ko ke Ousmane Sow yalo ne Adama Barrow yalo adu mamman sakunda nyini butur laje manke fitinan tunti manke fitina moti man la fitina bari manke joto yiti fana wose ko yima lew so Barrow molle ba ala sakulol kono molle ba bala men yalon ko wol pareta pour kanyin kuru yasi fal kae wala na nyim message men findita ka foko la fank ambush la le ngam woni nin ka me yalon ka sutiyata Barrow la mol la le akonye ko kana nyin ko ke chakan tuti tonya ase keno ise fero sotono le pour kana nya pikan akonye ko hani drug ko e kam même fo akonye ko sabali tonya lem akonye ko nyin sunkar tambilale lafta kela kanila korda kono ka drogo ke je ka kela mototo bari ye sotaro le soto bari me fonyo ha moyo fonye me yalon ko latala a manke moti men sefani ya fonye ala baraka. I want to thank you all again profusely for, as I said, responding to this impromptu invitation for a press conference. I appreciate the work that you do. May Allah bless you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.